No. Welcome back to the Culturally Distinct Podcast. It's your boy DJ KO. As you can see, we having conversation over here. Me and Princella. Before we get
Princella.
Princella.
Yeah,
I
like
said
Princella umbrella.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Princella. Thank you for correcting me. Jeez, Princella. So what? So can I call you the Queen Maker also?
Yes, absolutely.
So which one? You saw it's Princella,
Princella the Queen Maker, but a lot of people just call me P or the Queen Maker.
Queen Maker.
Yeah.
I want to call you the Queen Maker because I
Yes.
want to know what is a queen.
Yeah.
But before I get into that, let me get my sponsors. Hey, shout out to 605 Adult Beverages. Shout out to Red Core Universe. Much love to you guys. I appreciate you guys. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You already know what we got going over here. Back to this conversation. The Queen Maker. So now look, welcome to the show first and foremost.
Yes, sir. Thank
Welcome.
you.
Let me give you a handshake. You know, I ain't gonna do that to you. So all my guests, I gotta give them a handshake.
Okay.
All right. So you can't hear this on the mic. How long you been in town?
I've been here for 13 years.
So you live in Houston?
I live in Houston.
Really?
Yes.
I never seen you outside.
Yeah.
I never seen you. So a queen maker. How can a queen maker not be outside but knows about men? Ooh.
Well, just because you ain't seen me don't mean, you know, I tell you what, like, don't you think that a man that hangs around or has a lot of experience with women can actually pick up on patterns that are consistent across a large number of women?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. You know
Pretty
that's
much.
the same thing that goes in reverse, right? Somehow men think that they're inobservable,
Okay.
right?
I like that word.
I have been in the military for 8 years, male-dominated industry,
Mhm.
right? And I got my commission as an officer, so I went to OCS, right? So
Okay.
I'm there with men. I drove trucks for 6 years, male-dominated industry.
Right.
Sold cars for 3.5 years. I was top salesman. Now you've been in Houston for quite a while.
Yes.
So you remember Landmark Chevrolet?
Mhm.
And that was one of the baddest dealerships out here. One of the most snake oil salesmen infested dealerships. So when they shut down, all those guys that worked with Landmark Chevrolet, I worked with those guys.
Okay.
So they've been in 30 years deep, you know. Car sales is like a legalized form of recreational or substance sales, right?
Mhm.
So it's just as cutthroat as that. So I've been in those environments as well. I've dated men. I'm a tomboy.
Okay.
Played sports, played football, basketball, ran track, rifle team, the whole 9 yards. So I got a lot of experience with men outside of just relationships. So I have it in relationships, work environments, friends. So I think I know a little bit about men.
A little bit. A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, a little bit, because at the end of the day, that's like me saying. Now I don't discredit what you're saying at all. I would never do that. But that's like me saying, I've been around women all my life. I was raised by my mother. I have sisters. All my homegirls I hang with. I went to the hairdresser with all my homegirls. We went on vacations. We had galentines together. It doesn't discredit me from knowing women, but I don't know them to the point where, like we mentioned earlier, the nature of a woman.
Oh, yes, you do, because nature is observable. The fact that people think that we can't see you and we can't hear you. See, I have eyes, and I have a mind that's critical at thinking, and I can observe your behavior. I can also hear you talk, and I have enough sense to understand what you're saying. So men talk on podcasts day in and day out like they talk in the locker room. Now, as a woman who has been a tomboy my entire life, you know, the fellas talk to me like I was one of them.
Yeah.
So when you already know as a man the typical behavior, you know this, and I see it too. When y'all having a group discussion amongst men, talking man stuff, and a woman walks by, y'all change the conversation when she's there, and when she walk off, you resume what you was talking about before. And you might even make some commentary about the woman that I know, because I've been in those conversations. Because, see, they never stopped talking when I was there.
Yeah.
Right?
You made them comfortable.
Yeah,
So-
that's just me.
But you know why men do that? because if a woman makes them comfortable in a situation, they're going to be free and open. So I feel when you're in a conversation or when you're in the vicinity of men, you make them feel comfortable. So they don't have to change or impress or try to be what they're not.
Correct. So that would give me more understanding of a man than the typical woman, because I'm not getting the fairy tale version of the man. I'm not getting the cleaned up, let me act right and tell her what she want to hear version of a man. I'm
Okay.
getting real raw versions of him. See, I worked with men who would let me know who they was cheating on their wives with, right?
Okay.
And what they was doing behind closed doors. See, I was in those conversations. I watched my first sergeant get demoted for having extramarital relations with a enlisted soldier, right? I watched my coworker get hemmed up for leaving the job every day and screwing women off Backpage while his wife was
Not
up top.
Backpage.
Yeah. See, I know those things, right?
Don't give all the secrets
So,
away.
you know, all this stuff, listen, I ain't the one that is out here trying to get a man to like me. I'm not the typical woman. I don't need male validation. I don't need male attention. I'm not putting on makeup and dressing half naked to get no man to look at me. The average woman is, though. And
Yeah.
y'all know that, too.
Yeah.
So I asked you earlier, after you've been around a lot of women, you're old enough to have experienced a lot of women, you have noticed patterns about women's behaviors and their psychology.
Yeah, I was about to say the psychology of women. I think people, just people in general, men and women, I think they show you who they are, but we're just not paying attention.
Correct. And so the difference between me and most people is I pay attention.
No.
Like, I don't discredit anything, because what I do understand is that you have the conscious mind and the subconscious
Absolutely.
mind. Right? And a pair of lips will say anything, because the pair of lips that's saying anything, that's coming from the conscious mind, where a person is trying to say the right things, but there are a million other messages underneath that comes from the subconscious mind, which is idiosyncrasies, body language, all of these types of things. And then if you listen actively to people, you'll hear them say one thing and then erase something that they say and come out with the truth when they're not thinking.
So let me ask you this.
Right?
Let me ask you this. I don't want to cut you off, but I want to
No,
ask
go
you
ahead.
this. Since you have, I guess, the guideline or the checklist, the ultimate checklist for a man. I take it you date men, right?
I used to. I don't anymore.
I'm saying, will you date? Well,
I dated men my entire dating life, yes.
Okay.
My first boyfriend was at 19. I stopped dating in 2021. So 19, it was probably 2005. So from 2005 up until 2021, I dated men. I was married, had a baby in wedlock, the whole 9 yards. So I got the whole experience.
so women that are similar to what you express, and they are looking for these how did you name it? These behaviors from men. Why should they date if they're looking for that in a man
Well, here's the thing.
and they want a man?
Here's the thing. When you learn what a man is, women gonna have to accept what a man is.
Okay.
What comes with the man. I'm not willing to accept that. I don't have to accept that. I accept what a man is by nature. And I accept that the man cannot change who he is. Now that I understand that, what are all the things that come with a man? Am I willing to tolerate that? The answer is no.
What comes with a man? First of all, what is a man? Outside of his
There's a difference between a male and a man.
Okay.
The base nature of all men is male.
Okay.
Now, male is your biological nature.
Yes.
Period. That is observable.
Correct.
That is scientifically proven.
Absolutely.
It takes willpower and self-mastery for a male to become a man, because a man is a matriculation process into a mental space
Yes.
with self-discipline.
Discipline, yes.
Then the 99% of males do not have self-discipline.
99%?
Yes, 99%.
Ooh, that's a high
That's a
percentage.
high percentage, because guess what? At the top of any food chain, only 1% of people exist up there. It don't matter if you're talking about fitness, financial, educational. Only 1% of the people at the top of the food, at the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about a man, only 1% of males even become men. And at that point, where a man, women do not like masculine men, right? Because you have to have.
You think so?
I know so.
So you're saying women
do not like masculine men.
feminine women do not like masculine men?
Correct. Because what is masculinity? That's this is the part that nobody understands. Men think that just being a man makes him masculine. Incorrect. A male, the nature of a male, if you're existing in your nature without any resistance from you or any willpower, you're existing in your feminine self. So a sexually undisciplined man or male is feminine.
You think so?
That is, because that's your nature to be that.
But how is that?
Because that is your nature to be that. Your nature is the feminine aspect of yourself. The masculine part of yourself is your willpower and your determination to be able to conquer your nature. So that you might be able to conquer any person out there, but the greatest battle is with self. People who have no self-control, no self-discipline, and no willpower exist in their feminine self. So the nature of the nature of a male is the feminine part of himself. The masculine part of a male is what makes him masculine. His ability to conquer his sex drive, his ability to control his anger, his ability to have a purpose and move forward with it relentlessly without being distracted. That's what makes a man masculine, or that's what makes a male a man. A woman cannot deal with that because women like to get their way. Women like to use sex as a way to conquer a man because with that makes her feel better about herself. It makes her feel higher on the totem pole. So women don't like to be rejected. They don't.
So in that scenario, what you're stating, but how is the man working in his feminine if his nature is to take? Not even take. That's the wrong word. If a man desire a woman and she gives him
because
sex,
again,
he's just working in his nature.
That's the part that you.
Now, if you have multiple women,
no, that's what you're not understanding. Your nature, which is the feminine aspect of everybody. Nature just is. Masculinity is the expression in you becoming what you willfully intend to become. So people who fall victim to their nature have no willpower. Masculinity is willpower. And you need that to be able to say no. You need that to be able to turn down an opportunity for sex, because guess what? Your weaknesses is where all of your troubles are.
Yeah, I believe that.
No, it is because a man.
That's more of a spiritual thing, though.
No, but that's what is mind, body, and soul. So if you want to be a man, you have to be mentally and spiritually evolved above your nature, because your nature just is. How do you transform that? Your nature is the feminine aspect of yourself. Everybody.
So now, who's responsible for that? If a man is living in his natural way, being disciplined.
No.
I'm saying, I'm just
No. It's not both. Your natural way as a male
should be disciplined.
It's not discipline. It's recklessness. Because human behavior is hedonistic. It's based on pleasure seeking.
Absolutely.
To seek pleasure and avoid pain. That's your feminine self, right?
Yep.
Your masculine self would go against that. Your masculine self would move in the direction of pain. It would move in the opposite direction of what your desires lead you to do. So your desire as a man is to bed multiple women. Your desire as a man is to release in a woman. Your desire as a man is weakness behind a woman. That's number one.
Right. But
when you conquer that, and you turn it down, if you can get the prettiest woman in your face that's willing to go, your ability to tell her no and turn away is you flexing your masculine
But
self.
we don't want to do. But,
I know.
But because the thing is, from the very beginning of time, we, as we know it, Adam and Eve,
I hear you.
right? So the story about he eating the apple, whatever. I think I have another story about it, but I think that concept or that story was more of Eve wouldn't give Adam.
I'm sorry. You are responsible for what you
True, but
what you desire.
But God said what did God say?
Listen.
Be fruitful and multiply.
No.
So that's a gift.
No. Let me tell you that. The nature of a virus is to reproduce. Planet Earth is a planetary body because it is the macrocosm of our microcosm. We are a microcosm of so it's as above, so below.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
We humans are a virus to planet Earth, and all humans know how to do is bust a nut and pop out some kids that they don't care about. And somehow
That's
humans
though.
won't. No, it's not. It's not because human behavior. Where do you think all of the trafficking, because human trafficking is a big issue.
Big
There's
business.
a woman right now going viral because her children died from the cold. They were all in the van and the daddy wouldn't get them. Now you're homeless, but y'all being fruitful and multiplying, and you got kids being killed because you don't care about that. You care about getting your rocks off, and you care about producing a lot of them, but when it comes to taking care of them, educating them, and that ain't our problem.
No, to what you're saying, I agree 100% with that. 100%. I'm not denying it. I'm saying sex was a gift.
It is not a gift. It is
Because from sex comes what?
a bunch of problems.
Well, I believe it.
No.
In some situations, but not all the time.
Yes, every problem in the world can be traced back to sex. Every single issue in
Not
this
every-
yes,
everyone?
every single problem
Now,
in
no
the
kingdoms
world.
was divided because of that.
Every single problem in the world can be traced to sex. You name it. Overpopulation. How did all these people get here? Sex.
Yeah.
Fighting, killing of partners. What is the root cause of
divisions
it?
of communities.
Sex. It boils down to sex, because at the end of the day, men are fighting each other over women, and women are competing and destroying each other over men. It's all based on sex.
But it goes back to what you said, though. If you could discipline yourself,
But
you won't have that issue.
If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. You ain't doing it. Because guess what? You think it's a gift and you think that you're supposed to do it, and you had this program, hey, we just gonna be fruitful and multiply. Viruses multiply.
So let me ask you this. Who's responsible? Because now it has to be somebody responsible for this. And to what you're saying is no antidote.
It is an antidote, but y'all don't want the antidote.
So what's the antidote?
Because the antidote
Outside of discipline.
That is the antidote.
Okay.
Y'all don't want that because you don't want your godly pleasures to be taken away. Oh my God, I can't give up vagina. Oh, I can't give up penis.
It's hard. It's hard.
Life is hard. If anything worth having, is worth working for.
Absolutely.
Right? And so the biggest issue is human nature. The nature of you is your feminine self. Masculinity is your ability to conquer yourself and all of your desires. Desire is what leads you into a trap.
Okay.
Men are getting robbed because how? Because you have a chick that you attracted to setting you up.
Yeah.
And how does she lure you?
But you give what you're saying is right, but you're giving me the worst of the worst though.
No, but that's how it is. Look at the world. Have you looked at the world around you?
Yeah.
But
right now, the world that I see right now, if we're talking about in terms of relationship,
it's terrible.
I see a lot of women, and I'm not blaming women. I love y'all. I see a lot of women want to be men in terms of being masculine, being a provider, being the one that says, I make all the money, I make the rules. That's what I see in today's time. I don't see how it was, a couple of years ago when the man was the provider. He came home to his family. They raised their kids. and they grew old.
And how did that have to happen? In order for that to happen, you had to keep women out of providing for themselves. You had to force that. See,
women didn't have rights, right? I get it.
Right. So that's not an organic situation. So when you remove all of those constraints and controls, what men are saying is that we need women's rights to be taken away. We need you. Yes. No. Because here's the thing. If you gonna be on planet Earth, I don't care if you a man or a woman, your ass supposed to work. Ain't nobody supposed to be children.
True.
What men want women to do is relish in being dependents and children. No. If you want to be a man, then you should not have to demand that I lower myself so that you feel better.
True.
At the end of the day, in order to live, work, which is a masculine attribute, everybody got to do that. Self-expression, you have to express self, right? Mm-hmm. That's a masculine attribute. Logic, analysis, observation, critical thinking, these are all masculine attributes. To tell women that they should not have any masculinity is to tell them just be there and let us do everything, and you just be a sex object that motivates me to compete against other men.
I don't think, now some people are, but not all. I think my opinion, I think that the men that want to do the proper thing, take care of their home, when I say take care of their home, financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, they want to do it. They have these resources called social media, friends, people who have trauma, different outlets that's promoting the nonsense.
No, it's not promoting. It's showing. This is a window to a real world that was hidden before social media.
I don't know.
No, because prior to that,
I can disagree with that.
No, prior to that, people didn't have access to other people's lives.
Correct.
People were not able to communicate with people all the way 1,000 miles away to see how they're living.
Correct.
So now what you have is an opportunity for people to bring conversations that they were having in private to the public sphere, right? It was because of Kevin Samuels that men felt open and comfortable enough to take barbershop talk into the real world. See, I've been in the barbershop, so I know what they talk about. I know that these are conversations that men have always had. So there is no promoting. Now you get to see the dysfunction of humans in real time. And what's going on is that males want to conquer females and make them live the way that is comfortable for the man, and the woman wants to do the same. And what we're battling over is sex, ego, and power. Ain't no love in this thing. Men have always known that there wasn't no love. Men have always known that women are totally delusional.
Does love exist?
Yeah, but not the way y'all think it is, because here's the thing. Love is a consciousness that rises way up here. That requires a lot of self-discipline, willpower, and all of these things that require you to go against your nature.
Okay.
Because, see, your nature is pulling you to do things to self-sabotage you in anything that you put your hands on. It takes a lot of effort to fight that, to do the right thing, right? Mm-hmm. Most people will fall victim to the negative aspects of their own nature, right? So this will keep them from loving. Men are not approaching women for love. They're approaching them for something that they need from that woman.
Yeah, initially.
Yeah, but that's what it is. The intent, the initial approach, this idea that, oh, well, one day we'll fall in love. It don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Your intent and your motive for pursuing somebody right off the top is what the foundation that you're building. And so
that's
it's the foundation you build.
Because the thing is, most people that initially meet someone, they're going off of what? How they look, right?
Yeah.
So how they look, they may be like appealing to them.
Right.
So you gotta have, I don't know nobody. Now they might have some people out there, I don't know. But I never heard or noticed or seen people go after things that's not appealing to them.
Well, here's the thing. The problem is that humans don't they're not appealing to anything besides the physical.
Yeah.
But relationships, true partnerships, are a mental and a spiritual,
True.
which you never get to when you're focused on sex and how a person looks, because it actually never goes beyond that.
But how do I get to know a person? Say if me and you met initially, I was like, oh, okay, the queen maker, she's bad. I like her. Oh, I like how she's talking that game, blah, 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 whoop, whoop. And then that's the initial contact. How would I know you're that one for me, or that soulmate, or that person that's going to have longevity with me in a spiritual way?
Because if you talk to a person, but here's the thing, again, if you got burned over 90% of your body, right, and you're blind, do you care about how much a person appeals to your eye, or do you
can't see
at
him.
this point are you looking for something deeper, right? You all are not looking for anything deeper. Y'all look specifically for what makes your genitals tingle, right? That's what, and guess what? And when you build relationships like that, they gonna fall.
True. I
They
get
gonna
that.
fall.
That's a temporary situation. I get
Yeah.
that. But the thing is this. You know this as well as I do. I understand what you're saying, 100%. But at the end of the day, you have to be appealing to something. I'm not saying use that one thing and make that the primary foundation of it, because you make that the foundation, then it becomes just that. But I think initially, when you buy a car from a dealership, you're looking at how that car looks. You don't know if that car got a motor in it. You don't know if that car is even running. But you're looking at it initially how
And
it
guess
looks.
what? And how many people buy cars like that and get screwed in the end? They get a lemon. They get some
Yeah, a
shit
lot
that
of
they
people.
have to end up right. So coming to me like that only continues to prove my point.
I'm sorry, I agree with you. I
right.
agree with you.
So
But that's not all situations. I'm
that's the
saying. There's some
majority. No,
situations.
that's the majority of situations, because people get into relationships based on superficial things.
Okay.
They do not. People do not actually like the mind or the soul of a person. As a matter of fact, how could you ever love somebody who you demand to put on a lie to get your attention? They got to pretend to be somebody.
That's ego, though.
No, but that's where everybody exists.
Yeah.
Right. So you, as a man, at least men that are open enough to speak on podcasts, they'll tell you, we like them like this, that. We don't want no woman this, that, and the other one. So the women who want men, guess what they got to do? They got to pretend to be somebody that they not.
That's not true.
Yes, they do. Yes,
Well,
they
no,
do.
no, all right,
Yes,
that
they
is true.
do.
That is true.
Yes,
That is
they
true.
do.
I'm sorry. That's right. That is true. So I want to ask you that. I'm glad you said that, because I was thinking about something. So since we're talking about men, and we love men, everybody loves men. Tell me, what is a woman? And tell me the desires of a woman. And tell me why our women are so delusional.
Well, that's real simple. Let's start with.
Not
What
all
is a
women.
wo-
I'm sorry.
no.
Some women.
I don't even use that word some. It's because it's most, right? See,
Okay.
some means a small number of
Yeah,
people.
I didn't want to say all. I didn't want to generalize.
No, generalizations are good because it talks about the majority.
Okay.
So if I say 10-year-olds in the 5th grade, that's a general statement.
Yes.
Because it's generally true. That does not mean that some 10-year-olds don't have a double master's. Those are very small numbers. So I don't need to make reference to the some 10-year-olds with PhDs, because there are some.
Yeah.
But generally, 10-year-olds are in the 5th grade.
Correct.
That's not an argument. So when if I say men have testosterone, or testosterone is the sex hormone of men,
Yes.
do I need to reference some men
Unless you're talking
who
to
have
another group. They
right?
believe
But do I
something
need
else,
to
but-
reference that some men who have extremely low levels?
No, you don't.
No,
I
I
get your
don't.
point.
Right.
Let's talk
so
about
when
this
I say
this
men,
delusion of women, though.
right? So when I say women, I generally mean the majority of women. The majority of women are absolutely delusional. They are.
How
But-
so?
But why? Oh,
Yeah.
well, they're delusional because they believe that there's this special man specifically for them
Yes.
that will worship the ground that she walk on for eternity and not see any other woman besides her, and not have any sexual desire for another woman outside of her, and give her all of his money and all of his attention to her.
In time.
in time.
Yeah.
And she believes that the older she gets, the more opportunity that she's going to face. You know why? Because she does not understand men.
That's not.
She does
I
not
gotta give you a hand clap
understand
on that. Let me
men.
give you a hand clap on that, because that's my first time ever hearing a woman say that. And this is what we've been in barbershops. Men talk about it all the time. We talk about the same thing. We talk about one big word: accountability.
Yeah.
A lot of women are not accountable.
They're
a lot
not.
of people, but mostly women are not accountable.
not.
They can't say I'm wrong.
They're
It
not.
was my fault, and that's all we want. You say it's your fault, and we gonna forgive you.
They
But
can't say that, though.
why is that?
Because women live in their own world, and depending on the race of a woman, there are a lot of reasons why women have extremely low levels of self-esteem and self-confidence. And because they feel that everything is blamed on them, it makes their ego so fragile where they can't admit that they're wrong. But this is like I was telling you at the beginning. Every human, male and female, you're both responsible for your desires. Women do not want to take responsibility for their desires. I discovered that women like to play hard to get.
Okay.
They like to pretend that they up here. They like to act like they don't want men. But tell a woman to close her legs and stop having sex, and she can't do it.
Really?
She acts like it's going to be the end of the world, which tells you that she needs sex or at the same rate or even more than the man that she's trying to demand to give her all of this illusionary stuff, right? Because this book that I have called 41 Shades of Men, it's got 41 different types of men in there.
41 different types?
And so to know better,
That's a lot.
to know better is to do better, right?
Absolutely.
So if the woman knows, based on this book,
The game.
why can't she take responsibility for her choices after she reads this book?
Well, that's layered. I think that's layered. 'Cause
It's
I'm not a woman, so I can't answer on it, but
I
can
am, though.
assume you are.
I am.
Oh, and I'm glad you're here for that. I'm glad you addressed that, because I just had always thought about why do women do certain things, and I want to talk also about this celibacy movement. A lot of women say they're being celibate because of past trauma or past hurt from whomever, but really they're not celibate. Really they're waiting for the man to say, "I want to be with you
They
for a
are.
time."
Yeah, because women have an extreme weakness. Women can't
Give the game away.
see.
Give it
see,
away. Yeah, I'm listening.
celibacy. To say that I'm celibate, you're right. I'm just waiting on somebody to come break the code. This is a tactic. And when you try to move with a tactic without your core belief systems being changed, this is a very weak wall that can easily be knocked down. Because here's the thing. The better looking a man, the less he has to do to get a woman's attention. All a man got to do is tell a woman a lie, and she will buy it.
Really?
If he looks good, he does not have to do anything. She will lie to herself. A man literally does not have to lie to a woman. She will lie to herself because women are that desperate.
Wow.
I'm being honest with
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Because in order for us to change, because I'm a humanitarian, I'm an activist for a better world.
Okay.
And the only way that we can make a better world is for humans to recognize their behaviors and change it. Women have a power that men do not have, and they are mismanaging it. They are misusing
What is it?
it.
Their vagina? Their vagina?
Well, for sure. Because at the end of the day, that's what the male lives for. The male's biological nature is to get as many opportunities to copulate as possible. When the male was in the wild, the way to get that was to conquer other males.
Absolutely.
And take over the women. That was
right.
the way he did it. But now that we're in this game, he's had to go in a psychological manner to get this. And what men have figured out, because men have always had to figure out how to get women's attention. In this game, men have had to try and fail to figure out what the woman responds to. See, a pair of lips will say anything. She'll say she ain't gonna date this person. She'll say this. That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
It's all a big psychology.
It's a lie. Men have figured out how to get women to respond. And how did men figure that out? Through trial and error, dealing with multiple women. This is how pimps can sit here and tell other men how to run the game on women, because males have studied females long enough to know what they respond to psychologically. Right? So this is why men can say what they say about women due to their experience. Somehow men don't think that it works the other way around, like a woman can't do the same thing and figure men out, right? But for women, they respond to romance. They respond to lies. They respond to fantasy, right? And a dude could be the ugliest guy, because this is how it was in the past. Women was mating with ugly men because those men had game, and women fall for the game.
They felt comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the women want to be conquered. They want to be rescued from this fantasy and from this world or whatever, and they will spend their entire life making mistake after mistake after mistake, truly believing that one day they still gonna find this man in the flesh.
So you don't think that's a spiritual thing? Because even though you said both individuals could do it to each other, but it's mostly men trying to do it to women.
No, it's really both, because even, like I said, women don't like masculine men because masculine men have boundaries. Masculine men have self-discipline, and they have conquered their weaknesses. The average male is weak behind sex from a woman.
Right.
So women play on that weakness. A woman can't play on that weakness if the man has conquered that area from himself.
Gotcha.
And so since women don't like rejection, because women's biggest weakness is wanting to be wanted. Women's biggest weakness is wanting to be desired. So any man that shows her attention, right? And if he got good skill and give her the right attention, she'll be gone. And God forbid he sleeps with her, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. So who is the responsibility more on? It's not on the men. It's on the women.
Yeah. I think the women because one, they have a vagina and they have an incubator, their uterus, and I believe anything that's internal like that messes with a person's brain.
It does.
Right?
It does. It's scientific. It's scientifically
Yeah.
proven that this damages women.
Right.
In a myriad of ways. And the only hope that a woman has is consciousness and self-discipline. That is the only hope.
Right.
Right? In reality.
I want to ask you this. What inspired you to write because a lot of women have, these conversations in the salons and, with their girlfriends, or they go out to brunch, right? What inspired you to write a book about men?
Well,
for women. It's for women, right?
Yes, it is for women.
Yeah.
Because, number one, I saw women in total confusion. And as a person that has been forced to study this for 25 plus years, I came to an epiphany in 2021 after all of this experience that I had with men.
COVID?
It was after COVID.
After COVID, okay.
Right? So I had a man, he asked me for my phone number. I was in my early 20s. And I thought I was doing the right thing when I politely told him, no, thank you, I'm not interested. That man put his hands on me. He took his hand and smashed me up against, smashed my head up against with his fingers. And he was like, I ain't want your ugly ass anyway, and fuck you, bitch, right? Now, that ain't got nothing to do, that's him. Why? What is the reason for his response like that? I had another man pull a gun on me when I told him, no, I don't want to have sex with him. He pulled a 38 out and put it on my table and said, I could take it if I want to, right? I've had men take thousands of dollars from me. I've been raped, right? I've had to have abortions. I've been in domestic violence situations. I've had men steal money from me. All of these things. And I'm a pretty solid, good person. I've tried to work with men in businesses. I end up doing all the work and they try to take advantage of what I do. You know what I mean? All of these things ain't just happening for no reason, because in every relationship that I would ever be in, I wouldn't just jump from relationship to relationship. I would go work on myself. Hey, did I do something wrong? And I would fix myself. I would fix myself. Try it again. After so much fixing, and these guys are still the same.
You said it's not me.
At this point, it's not me.
Right.
Because
right.
I had a dealing with a millionaire, right? And I worked for this guy. He was jealous of me because I had work ethic and I knew this industry, and I was also in the military. I'm your employee. You're a millionaire, and you sitting here acting like I'm your biggest threat. You don't even you feel insecure for having to ask me for help, right?
Yo, and you working for him?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I'm like, there's something fundamentally wrong with the male. Now, I have a background in cell and molecular biology, okay? So I have a scientific mind.
Okay.
Right?
So you understand cells?
I understand analytical thinking.
Okay.
Right? I understand data and processing data. I also understand observation. And so I was a straight A student in psychology, right? So now I have to sit here and I'm looking at patterns, and one day, all 25 years worth of experience, it just synthesized together and it clicked about men, all of it, the science, the experiences, everything. And so I was on TikTok one day. I wrote another book called The 5 Components of Love, and I was letting them know that I came to the conclusion that men were not capable of love, right? And this book wasn't about men at all. It was literally about the structure of love. And 2 years after I came to the conclusion I came to the conclusion that men were incapable of the concept that I wrote in the book. And that's how my Love, Men, and Manipulation Decoded workshop was created. And as I was teaching this online, I decided to take out a sheet of paper and start to write down the different archetypes of men, because I had already started saying this type of man. I said, you know what? Let me see how many men I can come up with.
Okay.
Right? And so by the time I finished it, while I was writing it online, I ended up with 41. And I told everybody, I say, wait, because I'm going to write this book for you. And I wrote the book, produced, published, and everything, and this is what it looked like. So this book demystifies every interaction that a woman will have with a man.
Everyone?
Everyone. Yes. And so at the end of the day, there is not a man that you can't find in this book.
I buy all them books and throw them away.
You know, now I did this because women are complaining, and I have always held this theory that the person who is complaining is 100% responsible for the outcome.
Absolutely.
The person who's complaining, because in a situation, there's a winner and there's a loser. And the person who's complaining is typically the loser.
Losing, yeah.
So it's your job to do something so that you be the winner, because the other person, they happy with the results.
Yeah, they winning.
You the one ain't happy with the results. So since women are complaining, and I have personally experienced the things that women have experienced in relationship. So in my mind, I honestly believe that women didn't know, because hell, I came to the epiphany, and I got a science background. I have all this experience, and it just clicked with me. So let me teach you what I found when I taught women, and women who have this book. Let me tell you, there's an app out right now. There's first, before I talk about the app, there's a group on Facebook that's titled, Sis, Is This Your Man?
I heard about that.
Right?
I heard about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, they done took it a step further to create an app where women can go into this app and upload these men.
See if somebody's dating that man.
Right. But not only that, you can search their criminal history and everything.
That's good.
It's good, but here's
To a
here's
degree.
no. Here's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Number one, the amount of sex offenders
Oh, wow.
are deep and wide all over this app. But I saw a woman that had this book and read it. Why are you on this app? Why are you still looking for a man going through criminals, going through sex offenders?
What is that?
Women's desire. See, women want to blame men.
Yeah.
They want to blame men. But how do you read this book and you still
go
searching, right? So at this point, it's not the man's fault. It's your fault.
Yeah.
So whatever you get out of it is 100% on you, because you can't say you didn't know. You can't say nobody played you, because what I find out to be true is that a lot of men will tell a woman up front that he ain't shit, that he got another woman.
Right.
And she'll pretend like it's okay because she thinks she can change his mind.
Absolutely.
Nature, because here's the thing, the base nature of humans, the sexual nature of humans is sexual conflict. It is biologically wired into humans, the male and female, to be at war with each other.
Okay.
So
At war?
Yes, because here's the thing, the nature of the male is to seek as many opportunities to procreate as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That don't work for the female, right? Because she is to choose quality. She can only have one baby at a time.
Correct.
Most of the time.
And she only have so many eggs.
Right,
Anyway.
but that's not the way the male procreates.
Correct.
So the male is designed to procreate and leave.
Correct.
That's what he's designed to do. To get a male to stay requires a lot of willpower on the part of the man to go against this urge.
I agree.
Right? But a lot of men ultimately do not want to go against the urge. They want to convince the women to either accept the behavior, or they try to sedate her through lying to her to make her believe that she's the only one. Those are the only two options. Either she believes falsely that she's the only one, or he convinces her to accept a polygamous lifestyle. Period. It's no in between, right?
What's your thoughts on that?
I believe, like, I don't have a problem with reality, because I know reality, I have the power to make a choice that's more beneficial to me. The problem with human beings is that they want their cake and they want to eat it too.
Right.
The woman wants a man, but she don't want to deal with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, you're either going to deal with the man and accept those things, or you're going to relinquish your desire for a man and do what you really desire.
Could you be in a polygamous relationship?
No, I could not.
Because it's the man got to be for you and you only.
No, I don't want a man at all.
I'm saying when you did.
Because what you do
You
with
don't want a
your
man at all.
organ, what you do with your sexual organ impacts me.
Absolutely.
And that's not a risk that I'm willing to take.
But why would you give up on men? Like, give up on men?
Because I don't want the problems that come with y'all. I know I don't want that. Now let another woman have it. I personally don't want that. I'm not competing with you.
Okay.
I'm not giving up my agency to make you feel like you own me, like I belong. I'm not doing that. I'm my own person. And I have dreams, goals, and desires that are specific to me that I am unwilling to relinquish to a man.
No.
Yes.
We spoke about the 1%. earlier in the podcast, right? And I'm pretty sure you know what the 1% looks like. You know how the 1% is going to treat you. You know what the 1%, how it's going to make you feel.
Like Kevin Samuel said, which I wholeheartedly agree with. If your dream man actually was real, why would your dream man want you?
It's real.
Okay?
That's real.
Because I'm not selling myself to no man. I don't care if any man wants me. I'm not here for male validation.
Correct.
In order for me to even answer that question, I would have to sell myself to a man, which I'm not going to do. But
You think so?
yes.
Why has to go to that?
Because I'm not here to convince you why you should want me. The question is, if your dream man actually exists, why would your dream man want you? Because at the end of the day, every woman is fighting for the same few men.
But you're not worried about that, though.
No,
If your dream
I'm
man-
not finished with my statement.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not finished with my statement. Every woman is fighting for the same few men. Number one, I do not compete with women. I believe that women and children are the community. Women fighting over penis destroys the community. I'm not going back and forth with no woman over no man. That's number one. Number two, since they all fighting for these same men, that man who has earned through self-discipline, he has earned the right to relish in options from the physical appearance, whatever he wants, he has access to. That man is not going to be monogamous to you. He's not. He has his pick. I'm not interested in that at all because I ain't a link in nobody chain. I'm not. He can go have anybody. I'm off limits eternally from a man, right? I am.
Eternally,
out
forever.
of all these women that's throwing vagina at you, why you need to be in my face?
Because
Because I'm
I'm saying, all right, so now I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But to me,
I
it sounds like past hurt caused you to make that decision. I'm not saying that that's where you are at this moment. But I believe you don't want to be upset or hurt by a man.
You can't
by
hurt.
by investing in a man. Now,
I'm not number one. I'm not
we're
investing.
not investing into each other.
No, I'm not looking for you to invest in me, and I'm not invested in you.
But that's what a Bible couple does. They invest in each other.
Yes, but that's
grow.
not how the average man is going to be. And
Well,
I'm
we talking about
here,
average.
listen.
We said above,
I'm
1%.
not looking for no 1%. Do you hear me? Why? That's like what reason?
Well, you're not looking. I'm saying that 1% finds you, and they find a good thing. I'm gonna give you two contexts. Right? You ready? It says one, it's not good for a man to be alone.
Okay, that's his problem. That ain't
Right.
got nothing to do with me.
Well, man as mankind, it's not good for man to be alone. That's the reason why Eve was created for Adam, because he was alone.
See, I'm not created for no man. That's the thing. See, y'all, you like this Bible thing, and I'm not made to be no servant to no man under any circumstances.
And second, the principle is multiplicity. It says one could lead 100, two could lead 10,000. So if you have two people, you're going to grow tremendously.
But that second person don't have to be a man, though.
You caught that?
Yes,
You
that
smart.
second person
Okay.
don't have to be a man.
You caught that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but I'm saying because I feel like, okay, I feel you have a spiritual sense of self,
I do.
right? You understand who you are. You know who you are. I'm pretty sure you went through therapy,
Yeah.
some type of therapy.
Yeah.
So you understand that side of it. And I believe that there's always somebody for someone at that moment where they are in their life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a lesson. And men served a purpose in my life. They were all lessons, all of them. The ones I worked with, the ones on the internet, the ones in the comment section, the ones I dated. Men have served as a learning lesson to me. So they have served a purpose. And if it were not for men, I probably would not be who I am, because it is the education that I received from a man who got me here.
I believe that. 'Cause
Right?
women teach us how to treat them.
Yeah, well, that's for you to learn. I'm glad that whatever
Just like
lesson
you
you
said,
learning, yeah.
men teach you guys how to love them.
No, I ain't thinking about loving them. Okay,
Do you believe in love?
yes, I do.
Do you do?
Yes,
Like relational love.
no, because that is nothing but codependency.
So
That's
you don't believe in
lust.
love?
That's no, because that's not love, sir. Sex, lust, and need fulfillment, that is not love at all.
Okay.
What is love is something that you express, not something that you beg somebody else to give you, right? So when as a loving person, I am love.
You are.
I became love.
You created out of
I'm
love.
not looking. No, we not created out of love. No.
I ain't talking about the sex. I'm talking about from God.
No.
God created you for a reason, ultimate
We,
reason.
we created for a reason, but like your Bible said, we born into sin.
Absolutely.
And if you understand the nature of human beings, you know that it is 1,000% true. Sin and your base nature, that is so far away from God and
Absolutely.
love. So far.
Absolutely.
Humans cannot seem to relinquish themselves from the confines of their own nature. So most people who are getting in relationships are getting in relationships based on hell and sin.
I believe that.
They're not getting in relationships based on a higher concept of love, because at the end of the day, love requires you to let go of a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
Humans can't let go of nothing.
But isn't life a process? You don't get it the first time. Life. I look at life like this. Life is like growing a tree. Starts off from a seed, then a small. You transfer pots, it gets bigger and bigger and
Right.
bigger as time goes on. But the thing is, you're not going to get it all at the very beginning. It's a process.
Right. And I didn't get it all. And so different people came into my life so that at different times I have grown to be who I am now. What I won't do is, because you need to grow, I'm not finna come down to your level and let your undisciplined or unlearned self and your natural behaviors impact me. You're not qualified to date me. You're not
True.
on my level. So if you ever get to my level, then maybe, but most likely not.
Well, I believe,
right?
You know what I believe? No, I believe that because I use this analogy all the time. The pitcher, the water pitcher, right? You have to have the capacity to pour into me, vice versa. If you're a glass and I'm a pitcher,
Yeah.
of course you're gonna pour, but you're gonna overflow. And if I'm full, I could fill you up,
Yeah.
but you're not full.
Right.
So I look at capacity. Do you have the capacity to fulfill who I am at this moment in my life?
Right.
You have somebody. We all do. Wherever we are, at whatever level we are in each other's life, somebody has that same capacity that you had, the same hurt, the same trauma, the same experience, and they're looking for someone. Not even looking for it. They'll say, you know what, I'm done with women. I'm out of it. Leave me alone. Y'all could meet somewhere and be like, you know what? We can relate. We relate to the same exact thing. It's possible.
Because I don't relate to pain and trauma. I don't, because I've overcome that. I don't live my life based on that. And at the end of the day, how hunters and gatherers used to do things is that when they would be gathering stuff and they would be trying out berries, how they figure out if a berry wasn't good and poisonous, they'll watch somebody else die from it, right? They'll watch somebody else die. Don't go eat that, right? That's So I learned not only from my own experience, I learned from other people's
That's true.
experience.
That makes sense.
So
Trial and error. Huh?
yeah. So one thing is, I'm not in a level of pain, and I'm not looking for somebody to use me to heal them. Now, if they want my help, they can pay for it.
Okay.
Right? I offer coaching programs, right? I offer, I have a book club. And if they want to learn and heal themselves, I have places. But to get in a relationship with somebody who's broken and messed up, I'm not doing that because I worked on myself. I spent a lot of time alone. Contrary to what most people do, most people get in relationship after relationship after relationship, and they never actually revisit what's happened to improve themselves or anything. I've always improved myself. And I've been able to see the patterns in life, and I know unequivocally what I want and what I don't want. A lot of people do not know what they want and what they don't want. And the only thing that can show you what you don't want is you experiencing it.
True.
Right?
True. I want to ask you this. I want to ask about marriages.
Yeah, sure.
Because a lot of people I feel that they're in marriages, they've been married for 5, 10, 15, whatever years, and they feel like, okay, well, it's not fulfilling me like it used to.
Right.
Because of the man cheated, the woman is not doing X, Y, and Z. The discipline isn't there like you spoke about. What does a person do? Do they get a divorce? Do they say it's over?
Well, it depends on what you want, because decisions have to be made based on the desired outcome. So if you want a chocolate cake, then what do you need to do? Do you need to start mixing cornmeal and milk and stuff together? No, because now you finna get, the outcome is about to be some cornbread. That's not what you said you wanted. You said you wanted a chocolate cake. So if you want a chocolate cake, you have to follow the ingredients and the instructions of a chocolate cake. In order for me to say what a person should do, they need to tell me the desired outcome. And everybody's desired outcome is different. But if your desired outcome is to force somebody else to do what you want them to do, then you might as well just get a divorce or sit there and tolerate, because you can't make nobody do anything. And most often, women do not get married on true principles or reality. A lot of women just want the wedding. They don't want marriage, because the things that come with marriage is dealing with the biological nature of another person. You have to manage another person's perspective, their
All the time.
feelings, and everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they get into marriages for selfish reasons. Both the male and the female do this. This is the reason, because I don't know if you know, but divorce rates are like 54%, like or above 50%.
That's higher than that. It's like
Yeah.
58, 59. It went
Yeah,
up.
and that's within 3 years of
Yeah.
marriage. All second marriages, it's like
Higher.
63%.
Yeah.
Third marriages is 73%. So clearly there is an issue with the people getting into this idea of marriage, right? So there are so many factors that lead to divorce that people have not sat down and really acknowledged that, number one, males and females are fundamentally different.
Yeah, that is true. I acknowledge that. That's true. And I feel sorry for those guys that's going to stick in that marriage. 'Cause I have a lot of friends, that male and female, that they hate their spouse.
Right.
But they're not leaving.
And that's the reason why I try to tell people misery loves company. And the most miserable person is a married couple trying to convince you to get married.
Correct. I believe that.
Yes. The most miserable people are married people trying to convince single people to come into the hell that they're in. Because I do this every day. And every day there's an anonymous group, an anonymous post every day about people being miserable and all of the crap that's going on in their marriages. I'm not dealing with it. I don't have to.
Right.
Like,
I believe in life partners, but I don't believe in marriage no more.
I don't believe in marriages, and I do believe in partners, and I won't even say life partners, because at the end of the day, when some people come into your life for a reason, lesson, or season, your journey is yours alone. You came in this world by yourself, and you're gonna leave by yourself. I know you've taken road trips before, right?
Absolutely.
Have you ever ran up on a car and y'all would just be driving together for a couple hours or for a few miles, and that person becomes your buddy until they have to take an exit and you keep going?
Yeah.
That's how life is. We try to hold on to people
That's
that
real.
we really should be letting go of.
Yeah, you come
because so enjoy them while they last, but be ready to let them go. People don't know how to let go of stuff that's old and expired.
Yeah, it's like growth. Some people
Yeah.
grow, or some people just have a different way about doing things, and
Yeah,
it's like a tree. Sometimes a tree grows and it splits.
Yeah.
And it grows in different
That's
directions.
how it has to be. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean that anything is wrong.
Correct.
That's just the natural way. And women get so caught up in, oh, I invested this amount of time in this. Okay. And so you waiting on a return for your investment? But why did you get in this situation anyway? See, you got in it based off of fairy tale and need, and you were hoping that if you gave enough to you could manipulate that man.
Right, to the point, yeah, where
Right.
he just...
Women, and that's another thing that I came to, because women overexert themselves and then they complain on all over. We do this, the man don't help. But let me ask you this question. Why? You are doing all this work, but why are you doing it? That's where all the magical answers come in.
Mm-hmm.
Women do all this work that they do because the number one reason they do it is because they're in competition with other women. The number one, it ain't even about the man. The number one reason that a woman boggles herself down with work, she's in competition with another woman to say, I can give him more than you can.
Wow.
I will take on all these responsibilities so he don't never have to look at another woman. He can come to me for everything. She voluntarily does this to herself. Then she'll have children thinking that she can keep that man and make him play in this fairy tale world that she live in. See, a lot of this stuff is self-inflicted because after 1974, when you were no longer forced to be in a marriage with a man,
Right.
because prior to 1974, you couldn't get your own credit, you couldn't take out a loan in your own name. You had to have a husband.
Correct.
You could not go to Ivy
You
League
couldn't work
schools.
or you couldn't do nothing.
couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
So now you get the freedom to be the person that God intended for you to be, and you begging to go back to slavery. You voluntarily boggle yourself down with domestic duties as a girlfriend, thinking that he's gonna wife you. And then when men ask, why do we need to be married? How does marriage benefit a man? Because all this stuff that you're doing, a girlfriend, a side chick will do it. You all cook and clean. You all go down and give the best head. You all will break your neck and sell your soul to get my attention. Why do I need to marry you? They all doing the same thing. And for somehow, they think that they're different. They think that they're special. And these women will kill each other over the validation of a man.
Yeah.
They'll do it. And
Yeah.
somehow they don't think something is psychologically wrong with them, right? And I think that this needs to be plastered everywhere for the woman to see herself. Because, see, men see women. Women don't see themselves. Women see men, but men don't see themselves. And it really doesn't matter ultimately because women hold all the power. And women voluntarily give it up to a man.
Thank you.
For a fantasy.
Thank you.
They do it. And that's why I teach women.
So I wanted to go there.
Yeah.
To go there. So now, it's two things I wanted to go. When we going to your church, that's one, because I felt the passion in it. And, two, how can, I know you're selling the book, but I want you to tell people what can they find a book? You say you coach
Yes.
women, the church house.
Yes.
Give us all the information. How can,
Yeah, so
they find you?
If you want a copy of the game 41 Shades of Men, you can get this on Amazon and Audible. So I got an Audible version. It's in my voice. I am the narrator, and I have the written copy. And they're 5 stars on both platforms. And
Congratulations.
thank you so much. If you like to get coaching from me, you can visit PrincellaClark.com. And if you'd like to join my book club and anything like that, you can go to PrincellaTheQueenmaker.com. And I'm the Queenmaker official on Instagram, TikTok, and I'm at the Queenmaker on YouTube.
That's dope. So I want to ask you this
Yes, sir.
before we get out of here. All right. You believe in God?
Yes. I don't believe in God. I know God.
Praise God. So now, tonight, this is what I want you to do.
Yes.
I want you to ask God, if it's in your will, if it's in your will, there is a man that's in my destiny.
Y'all
Please send him to me.
No. I would be damned if I ever sit up here and do what the average female do. I would not do that. Like, I'm not desperate.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
no, I'm serious. I'm not, because I have everything I want out of life. And my path is going even further. And my purpose on this planet is to help the children who are being born to women. Because here's the thing. The women that have the most children are the women that have low self-esteem.
True.
Those who need validation from a man, and they jump from man to man to man, and they have 5 and 6 kids by 5 and 6 different men, right? Those children get hurt.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
those children who get picked up in trafficking,
Yeah.
right? If you don't change the woman, the children, the community, and everybody suffers. The pinnacle of a woman's purpose is not a man. It's the community.
Correct.
She has abandoned her God-given duties to chase pleasure and ego fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
And so my message is to inspire women so that they can put down the fantasy and get back to work. Because it's a lot of, one person can't do all this. One person cannot help all these children, can't help all the communities. You have to inspire people who have a God-given purpose to stand there, but they haven't found their way because they blinded by pleasure. They're blinded by attention.
Mm-hmm. Yes, big
right?
one. Validation, attention.
Right.
Yeah.
So it would be counterintuitive and counterproductive for me to get on my knees and pray for a man when I can be praying for a bigger way to have more impact on
I like that.
other women and children.
That's fair. That's
right?
fair. That's fair. I get that.
Yeah.
But some things I disagree with, but I can agree with that. I can agree with that. So this conversation has been a great, delightful conversation,
Yeah.
and you gave the game away. A lot of women, for men and women. I think if we take it, if we just take it in account of who we are, understand who we are, take ego out of it,
Yeah.
and say, you know what, it's me. Why am I seeking X, Y, and Z to get X, Y, and Z? We start doing that, we probably could, get better answers for self. Also, in the spiritual sense, we understand what God could talk to us more, and we can listen versus being distracted. So I like that. I enjoyed this conversation. You know what I'm saying? This is a good one.
Yes,
You got to invite me to one of your talks.
Yes.
Your what you call them? Like your girl talks, or it's just women that come, or it's men that come, or
Well, for my book club, it's mainly just women. So I educate on the sciences, esoteric stuff like that.
Okay.
My podcast is really, I'm a one-person show.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I have guests every now and then. So if you want to be a guest on my podcast and we can have a conversation there.
Yeah,
I'm
you should
cool
have
with
that conversation. Ask
Yeah.
men and ask other women, especially women that are like very like demanded, or like or high strung, or like they're like successful.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of women, without being, with having a mindset to listen versus respond.
What I also found that what I tell people is that everything that men say about women in terms of relationships, their temperaments and everything, they are 100% correct in everything they say about women. Women are 100% correct in everything they say about men, but neither one of them can see themselves. And one thing that I realize why men absolutely do not respect women, because women can go get all the degrees, they can have high-level positions, and they will still get played by a man that ain't even got a GED.
That's true.
I mean, yeah,
that's real.
No matter how quote-unquote smart a woman is, she's still completely dumb when it comes to a man, which makes men lose all respect for a woman. And the reality is, if a man respects a woman, he really don't even have the desire to sleep with that woman.
That's real.
That's what women don't understand. A man that respects you, 9 times out of 10 won't sleep with you.
That's real.
Right?
That's real.
And so women don't like to be rejected. They want to be desired. So women will forego respect for attention and validation.
That's real. I like that. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking in my head all the friends that I know that.
See, I want respect.
I require sex from. But
Yeah.
no, we ain't got to talk about me.
Yeah.
But guys, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here. So guys, you know where we are, Coastal Distinct. One more time, how can we find you?
You can find me on IG, The Queen Maker Official, TikTok at The Queen Maker Official, and you can find me on YouTube at The Queen Maker.
There it is. We're going to find these queens. We're going to make these queens. We're going to cultivate these queens for 2025 and beyond.
Yes.
And I'm going to sneak up in these classes. I'm going to sabotage these classes. Don't listen.
Yeah.
Don't listen. But anyway, guys, we got to get out of here, man. I appreciate it, man. Much love to my sponsors, everybody that showed up, everybody that you told somebody about it. I feel this episode is going to help a lot of people. I'm going to use your word. It's
Yeah.
going to impact a lot of people, especially the younger generation, because the younger generation is what we need to go forward.
Yeah.
Guys, this is DJ KO with Coastal Distinct Podcast. I love you guys, and you can't do nothing about it. Peace.